him inspire me to sing so. Can't catch me for no like no swim run.
Your love surround me.
Your love.
Because can't go around me. Love surround me. In a water they want me down me. Love surround me. Because can't go around me. Love surround me. In a water they want me down me. Yeah. My only girl. My only girl.
99.9 WEFM. WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
All right, so we are back with you for another segment here on our Activated Mornings program. And if you don't know the date, it is the 7th of May, 2025. And if you don't know the time, it is 8:48. All right. If you don't know which station you're listening to, is WEFM. All right. Any other information?
And if you don't know whose voice is, this is Dianna.
And this is Roleza. All right. All right, so we're going to head into another topic. We kind of touched on piece of it before, but it's a kind of sort of a different spin, right? So we're going to talk about the keys to longevity, and these are tips from Centenarians, all right? So I think it was either last week or the week before, but the oldest person in the world, person at the age, oh, we have a caller. Go ahead. Hi, caller, good morning.
Good morning to you girls. How are you all?
Oh, we're fine, and you?
Oh, so far so good, eh?
Okay.
I'm talking about memories, right? And photographs. I recall between 1939 and 1945, my mother had 5 children. She had having 15 of us. So, well, she'd normally sit us down and tell us about the hardship she find how to feed us during the war. How the shortage of everything, and she couldn't get how to improvise cooking food and making different stuff to survive on. So it all fascinated me. How did it survive in those days? You know, it was really, really difficult. And Mom and Dad, she was a young woman. You know, she got married at 18. Every year she had a child. Every 17 months she had a child. But the hardship she endured during those days, and to bring up those children and feed them, no electric, no running water, and everything. And she was always a happy woman. You know, she always talk about it. And I wonder how we'll survive today. And when the war is going to the Third World War. It is worrying to some of us, you know, especially my age. I lived through those days. I was about 5 years old. I was 3 years old when the war finished. But the memory I have is what my parents told us. Because Europe is now celebrated 80 years of VE Day, that VE victory over Europe. So it was very, very hard. As you got the photograph there, my memory is what was told to me, and I kept that in the back of my head all those how to survive. So it was really, really difficult for the people with children in those days. And we are very thankful today that we live in a different world. So I'm all concerned about my parents. How did they survive? All right, you have a nice day.
All right, thanks, Mr. Gibson. Have a good one as well.
Bye.
All right, so we have a call. No, that was a group call. That was definitely not for us. All right.
You know, talking about just on this topic, whenever I see those old photos when I come across them on Facebook, whether it's API or somebody who has it shares those photos of what things used to look like back in the day, I save them fast. I really love to see how things used to look back then. I really, really love it.
I think one of my challenges is trying to figure out where places were. Right, because they would tell you where it is, but because things have changed so much, and like you didn't see pictures of the gradual changes to see what was then and then now. My mind can't always figure it out as quickly as I probably should, So yeah. All right, so we are going to delve into a topic at this time: the keys to longevity, tips from centenarians. All right. So the oldest person in the world, she was aged 116, and she was a Brazilian nun. She died recently. And, when I came across the article, I was curious, what do some people think are some of the tips to live in a very old age? All right. Now, I personally don't know. You want to live to be old age? How old you want to get to? Oh, gosh, no, even if we should say this, Anika, God listening. But anyways.
What is to be will be. I don't want to be old and to the point where I can't help myself, and I really, really have to depend on people to do things for me. So God, whenever it's before that, I good.
Yeah, I think that is the same thing for me because I am so independent in a sense where I just don't know how to rely on people. To have somebody take care of me in that way, I would feel sorry for them. I would not want to put them through it as opposed to me, not wanting to adjust to it. But yeah, it's just things that we have to embrace. If we don't want to celebrate more birthdays or we die young, we really and truly have to pick one, right? But yeah. All right, so I came across an article of a woman who is 115 years old, and at the time she says, do what you like, right? So we're giving some tips on how to live long from persons who are living long themselves, right? So one of these persons, she's 115 years old. She says one of her tips is to do what you like, all right? She's saying that, you really don't need to be listening to people. You don't need to be arguing with persons over things. Just do what it is that you like, whatever it is that brings you joy and whatever it is that might bring you some satisfaction, all right? So another person, she is saying to stay away from toxic people. All right. And this person, how old was she at the time when she made this comment? She's also 115 years old, right? So she's saying one of the keys for her is to stay away from toxic people. And I could so understand that one. All right. Some other persons were also interviewed. And this is why I was talking about the retirement point. So a person who's 100 years old, she says, don't retire. Keep working if you love it.
Oh.
And I will tell you, last week I came across this lady I've known since forever, right? I've known her since my childhood, and she's working at a particular place. So it was interesting to bounce up on her because she's dressed in working clothes. She has, a lunch bag. She has an umbrella and everything. And I was like, so you're still working? And she says, yes, thank God. But when she said it in a way that she actually wants to go into work. And she was so happy that the company that she's working with, because she has to be up at least about 70, I believe. Yeah, she has to be about at least by 70. But she is thanking the company so much for allowing her to go into work. And when I thought about her, I thought about this other gentleman. He works at an insurance company. Many of you would know him, but I can't remember his name. But I'm sure that he's hitting close to 100 if he hasn't hit 100. But he's also going into work every day. And the only reason why I knew about it is because there's one of his I don't know if his employees or co-worker, but they posted a picture of him last year celebrating his birthday at work. And I was there, he's still going into work? And They told me yes. But the thing of it is that he actually loves doing it, right? So these two persons who I am speaking of, they actually love getting up. They love being able to have something to do. They love being able to be surrounded by other persons, because in the lady who I spoke with, she said that if she had to stay home, she thinks she would die faster.
I actually have heard some older persons talk about that, after you retire and you just sit down there doing nothing or basically nothing, how that can affect them. But boy, you can tell some of them ages fine.
But then it means that you actually love what you're doing. And I don't think that many of them...
And you're strong. You have probably more energy than me.
Right. So that is one thing. So that's why I was talking about the retirement thing earlier. Right. So another person said to find meals that sustain your body and your soul. And one of the things that we always talk about is eating healthy. But I also think that this depends on your body, because recently I saw something with regards to what's that guy who does do all the investments?
Beast, Mr. Beast?
No, investments. Oh gosh, what's his name? His name gone straight out of my head. I see in his face, but I can't remember his name.
A
No,
Vinci person?
nah, international person. He's 80 something, and he said that he's going to retire now. But he drinks 5 cans of Coke every day. Every day. So when you talk about longevity and living to older age and eating healthy, etc., I think it depends on your body, right? But this person who is 110, she says to find meals that sustain your body. Right. Another person says to practice self-love. This one is 103 years old. Another one says don't waste time on regrets, and she's 102. And I agree with that. Because the decisions that you make at that point in time were the decisions that you wanted to make. Many times, in most instances. So it doesn't make sense you live in your life with regrets, because it was what you wanted to do at that point in time.
That's true.
All right. So yeah. All right. So we have a call, and before that, we
write some of those and stick them up on a wall.
I'm gonna send you the link. Morning.
Morning. Talking about working and old and still working. So I was in this office in BTC. It's called BTC, Bahamas Technology Company, NASA Bahamas. So I was in that office, and this old man came in, sharply dressed for the lady salesperson. Said, "Oh, you look so sharply dressed. Congratulate him." And he said, he drives taxi. And she asked him how old he is. He said 79. And he said that the rest taxi drivers keep telling him, "Old man, go home, go home, go home." And 2 of them died. This year, they're not even 40 yet, and they just dropped down and died like that. That's what he said.
Yeah,
I saw a guy, sorry, go ahead.
No, I actually have a cousin like that. He drives taxi, and he's older now, but yeah, he's still driving as well. So
I go in this Target, I see this guy, old guy, he's cashing. He's very, very slow guy. He's very old. He look like he's probably in his 90s. I say, you're not going to retire yet. He says he also have another part-time job doing security at a hockey stadium. What he could do in terms of security?
But you laughing, but a lot of our security guards are older folks as well. Mm-hmm.
I know. They have no other jobs that they could get, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The farming. All right, so later. Bye.
All right, thanks, Greens. All right, and the final one that I would leave with you is love is powerful at any age. And this is from 2 individuals. One got married at 102 to a 100-year-old person, all right? And they said love is powerful at any age. And I would agree with this in the context of, I think, toxic marriages and toxic relationships age you faster than you really should, all right? And I think it's okay. When you have to talk about, hi, Coach, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, I hear you all talking about retirement and people working till this certain age. I give them good credit for that. But me, I have other things to do.
Mm-hmm.
I have places to see, things to do. I ain't that ambitious to be working 75 and 100 and all them things there. I have places to see, things to do. It's a big world. There's certain part of the world I ain't see yet, so I have to go see it.
But that's because you've been planning for it, Kojo, right?
No, but since I was a small fella, I started traveling when I was 16 years old. I took a break and started working permanently for government. So when I reached my age for start working, I resumed my childhood days. What I say, once a man, twice a child.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's time for me to resume my childhood days, I'm going into that.
Yeah.
I'm going to retire and sit down in your house and when I reach a certain age, I'm tired of people going to work and hear people's stories and the bickering and the this and the. And I'll give a joke. There's this lady. She was working in the janitorial department. She was a supervisor. Every year, I'm going to retire. And we say, lady, you're paying the county to come to work, which means that if she retires, she gets more money than she actually getting while she's working.
Okay.
I said, no, I want to work. I don't have nothing. The week that she went and find out that she had done past 70, she went in to find out how much money she was going to get. She took sick the same week. She never came back on the hospital. That was her retirement.
Okay.
I'm not in that department. Unless I drop dead right now, I'm retiring.
Okay. Well, good. I mean, I think for you is because you have a plan, but there are persons who might be different in that they need a reason to get up in the morning. Like unless they're going to be traveling or whatever, they need another reason to be getting up in the morning and to feel productive. Yeah. So.
Well, it is good so you could go on the beach and sit down and you don't have to get up and run to go to work. You just go on the beach and chill. Watch your waves rolling and Otis Redding say.
All right, Jimmy Cliff.
No, that was Otis Redding.
Oh, I know. The Jimmy Cliff song I'm thinking about is sitting here in limbo watching the tide roll away, right?
Oh, yeah. That one too. I ain't want that one either.
All right. I hear you.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. Your mother tell you your family story, which is not no history. That is your story.
But it's our
my
family history. But it's our family history.
No, it's not. It's not to be history. History is just somebody write about you. That's why I don't understand what people talk about history.
You're saying history is what somebody else writes?
Yeah, I will write. If I write your story, it's my story.
No, you could have first account history. No. Hold on, Coach. Let me Google. I am sure that there is something called first account history, where it is told by the person.
I don't care what Google tells me. It's my story, your story, no history. History is just somebody write about you.
And according to Google. No, they ain't giving me the proper definition. Hold on. I will look for it and I will tell you. All right. But the first narrative, right. So a mode of storytelling is which the storyteller recounts events from the storyteller's own personal point of view. So yeah. Boom. Like what you
all right.
Later.
I don't care.
All right, no problem. Later.
Okay.
All right. All right, so we're going to head on out of this segment. Any final thoughts, Dianna?
No, that's it.
That's it. All right. So yeah, though we might be kind of young, we still do have to think about these things. All right, and many of the things that we do now in our younger age would help to determine whether or not we live to old age, if this is what we actually want to do, to live to older age. All right. And as I always say, you had to start putting things in place, so that you could be up and about or whatever. All right. Whatever.
Just the final thing. Or somebody here is saying, eat well, drink lots of water, and move for your mind. Just to pull back from one of the things, one of the centenarians said, I do what I like. I like that one particularly because I think, doing what society has a problem with people doing what they like doing if they don't agree with it. Listen, we have to drop that because people ought to do what they want to do. That's what is going to make them happy. For most of my young life, I wasn't living my life for me. I was a people pleaser and I got sick and tired of it. I nearly drove myself mad. What? Or am I sitting on not doing something that I want to do because of how this person might think, because they've helped me with this or they've helped me with that? Listen, scratch all of that. New era. Bye.
I agree. That's why I say for me, you stay away from toxic workplaces. You stay away from toxic people because you have to take your life into your own hands because a lot of it is going to affect your mind. And whatever affects your mind is also eventually going to affect your body. So, yep, that's what we're signing out with here, folks. All right, so we are over time, but yeah, we are going to head into today's ECCB currency.